for the 1980s.
You cut the hair, you lose the strength.
This is episode 228, recorded March 8th, 2023.
Gruesome Magazine.
My name is Jeff Mohr.
Yeah.
What does it do if you just? What does it do if you just lose the hair? You don't even cut.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait, what
You
is
get
he
a
doing?
discount.
All right. This podcast is about horror films released between 1980 and 1989. Each episode, my co-hosts Bill Mulligan, Crystal Cleveland, Chad Hunt, and I will tackle another classic or not so classic film from this radical, gory, influential, and gruesome decade. You know, when we announced this, we actually had somebody say, "I love that movie." So,
Was his last name Thor?
no, it wasn't.
Then it's inexplicable.
Odin?
I mean, okay. I don't know. We haven't talked about it yet. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just
So
saying,
joining me
you
tonight is Crystal Cleveland, a living dead girl and co-host of the Gruesome Magazine podcast. Crystal, how you doing?
I'm really confused right now.
Really what?
I'm really confused right now. I'm confused.
So business as
I don't-
usual.
Yeah, basically. You got that, Chad. Yep.
Join.
I don't know
Join
how
the
I
club.
feel, and
Oh.
I don't know how I feel about this movie yet. I think we need to talk about it.
Okay, we'll do that.
Yeah.
Also joining us is Chad Hunt, comic book artist and co-host of Decades of Horror, the All of Them. What's up, Chad, my brother?
My blood pressure after watching this movie.
Didn't you pick it? Isn't it your
Yeah,
pick?
I did pick it.
That's right.
We'll get
yeah,
into it.
yeah. I feel that. Yeah.
Last but not least is Bill Mulligan, writer, director, special effects guru, co-host of Decades Horror of the 1970s, and
Cat scratching first.
yes, he's owned by many cats.
That's right.
How you doing?
Oh, Canada.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yes. Oh, Canada. All right. So I need to write up a promo for this because just winging it doesn't work very good. But Decades of Horror now partners with Play Now Media, all three of the Decades of Horror, classic era, 70s and 80s, on some of their streaming channels.
Sure.
So you could see episodes of Decades of Horror of the 1980s on the free horror movie app, the Wicked horror TV app,
Yep.
Wicked TV, yeah.
Yes.
And I know there's another one, but it's slipping my mind. 70s is also on those. Oh, I know, the retro horror 70s, 80s, and 90s, which right now, as far as I know, is only showing on if you have Roku, it's available. So that one looks really cool to me, and God, I hate to say it, but I might have to get Roku just for that. But anyway,
Sucker.
and the classic era, as it has been for about 2 years, is on the Classic Horror Movie Channel, Sci-Fi Horror Movie Channel, the free Classic Horror Movie Channel, and so yeah, go on and check us out. 70s and 80s, we're starting to build our episodes. There's somewhere around 8 to 10 episodes of each one up now, and as time goes on, that will get bigger. So soon we'll take over the world. On this podcast,
or hopefully, or get paid.
Wow.
yeah. And Chad,
Yes.
actually, Doc authorized me to give you to double your current salary.
Ooh.
Wow. Double odds.
All of us, right? We're having
Yes, you all.
all of us.
Lucky.
You all get
Ooh,
100% raise.
That's exciting. Yeah.
Double lot salary.
Woo!
All right. So on this podcast, we start
I
out-
knew he liked me best.
Yeah.
we,
Mm.
on this podcast, we start off with a few details about the movie, do some taglines, and then go on down the road discussing the film and the people in it. and a few visual aids provided by Bill. So our topic, as if you can't read the title on the episode header, is Zombie Nightmare.
Wow, that's a perfect picture.
From 1987. And I had to use this picture because this is John Mikl Thor playing baseball, but it's the first time I ever saw a baseball player oiled up.
Yeah. And shaved arms.
Yeah.
Now, if you're a pitcher, that would be helpful. It would help you with a spitball. But
It's a bodybuilder thing, I guess.
Wait, no. Lots of what do you guys? Aw, lots of people shave their arms and legs now, men and women, and those identifying as those. It's very common.
Okay.
yeah, wow,
really
but this is
common.
1987.
Well, they were, that the men
Yeah, they
cared.
didn't do it then.
I feel like they cared more about their, they were into that whole like oily bohunk thing. I mean, I think it's a thing. It shows your muscles better.
It's okay.
Put it
It's
this
okay,
way.
but I'm telling you,
It's-
I watched a
it's
lot of baseball
clearly-
games, and I never saw a baseball player with his
It's
muscles.
clear
Well,
for him to
I
listen
agree
to
with
this.
that. I agree with that.
Or
This
whatever.
this person probably never played baseball a day in their life. But I'm just saying, bodybuilders, it makes their muscles show up better.
Sure.
Sure, absolutely. All right. Zombie Nightmare, 1987, directed by John Bravman, co-directed or assistant director, depends on who you ask, John Fasano, written by John Fasano and David Wellington, who also really didn't write anything, but we'll talk about that later. Cast includes Adam West, Tia Carrere, John Mikl Thor, Frank Dietz, Manuska Rigaud, and Shawn Levy. Or Levy, I don't know. Production company is Gold Gems Limited. It's filmed in Quebec, Canada. They started filming on June 20th, 1986. I don't imagine it took a real long time, but you never know.
No.
The release date was October 13th, 1987, direct to video. The budget is estimated at $180,000, and believe it or not, worldwide gross is listed as 1.5 million Canadian dollars,
Well, that's a profit.
which is pretty good based on $180,000, which is about 1.1 million US dollars at the time. Also known as El Último de los Muertos Vivos, from Argentina, the last of the living dead.
That's a lie.
It is. Synopsis is a mother resorts to voodoo to get back at those who killed her son.
Yep.
Yep.
Okie dokie. All right.
I
Well,
wonder what you're going to do with that premise.
Yeah.
I think this is a lesson in what not to do with that premise.
It's
Yeah.
maybe a nightmarish zombie. So let's get to first impressions. And that was a pretty skimpy description, but we'll go with it for now. This one is Chad's pick. So Chad.
Yeah, Chad, defend
Have you
yourself.
seen this before?
Yeah, I've seen it before,
I figured,
and this movie is complete and utter trash. But
but not as good as street trash.
no, and it's nowhere. It can't touch street trash with a 10-foot pole or with a glove on the end. Anyway, yeah, I've seen this a bunch of times, and it is so incredibly stupid that I just can't see it as anything other than a comedy at this point. I can't. It's not scary. It's not thrilling. It's nothing but an 80s cheese ball fest with music that I like. And that's the only reason I think I saw it in the first place was it had music by Motorhead, Girls' School, and
Not Adam
And-
West.
yeah, well, Adam West too. He was probably the best thing this movie had going for it. But but I saw it originally for the rock and roll aspect of this movie, which if Bill said he's seen John Mikl Thor in concert, and he's still around. He still makes music, and it's the cheesiest metal music that you ever want to listen to, and his acting's right on par with that as well. But yeah, that's my impression of it. I liked it when I first saw it, but as I grew and matured, like a little sapling tree, I look at it like a comedy. I just make fun of it the whole time I watch it, and that's what I think of it today. That's how I look at it now.
A little sapling tree.
A little sapling tree on Arbor Day.
All right, Bill Mulligan. What were your first impressions of Zombie Nightmare? Had you seen this before?
I had, well, yes and no. I had seen it before, but it was as part of Mystery Science Theater 3000. Which is definitely the way to watch this, because watching it without Mystery Science Theater 3000, it was like, I remember this being a whole lot funnier. And, that's because there were people making fun of it. And now that's left to me to do. And boy, this is terrible. It's terrible. And I wouldn't say I had high hopes because I'm not a dope, but I had reasonable hopes that it would remind me of another Thor movie, Rock and Roll. I think it's Rock and Roll Nightmare. Yeah, which is a terrible Canadian movie up until the last 15 minutes when it goes completely off the rails and becomes a brilliantly bad movie. Just absolutely. I would stack up that last 15 minutes to anything Marvel's produced in the last 2 years. That is just absolutely incredible to watch a movie. Just you gotta see it to believe it. Maybe we'll do it someday. I'll actually pick that movie just for that last bit. It's just so nuts. But this didn't have anything like that. This was just interminable. It just went on and on and on, and not a lot happened. And it's not bad enough to be entertaining, and it's not good at all. So there's not a whole lot to recommend it. The music is good. And Thor, I saw Thor in concert, and I believe it might have been at a comic book convention, because it's not like I was out there seeking him out. And the thing about it is the music is not my music at all.
Plausible deniability.
Yeah, it's not the kind of music I would seek out, but people seem to be enjoying it. But the crazy thing was, he was on stage, he was all oiled up, so Crystal would have loved him. And in between this not so great music, in my opinion, again, he did feats of strength. He would bend like horseshoes, or the one that really got me, he took a water bottle, a rubber water bottle, and blew it up until it exploded. Yeah. That's got nothing to do with the music or anything, but I can't do that. I was hella impressed. Still am. And that was really cool because, and I really do think it might have been a comic book convention or something, because it's like he was like a real life superhero type, way ahead of his time. And he seemed like a likable guy. A little pro wrestling kind of thing there. So, yeah, but this movie. It's so Canadian, and I don't say that in a mean way. I love Canada. My daughter lives in Canada. I love visiting. I'm planning on visiting soon. I always have a great time up there. The people are really nice. Canadian low budget horror movies are either like David Cronenberg, like, whoa, this is some real cutting edge cool stuff here. There's a quirky, weird quality to them. Or there's Zombie Nightmare. There doesn't seem to be a lot of middle ground, and you can almost spot a Canadian horror movie, but I don't know exactly what that is, what the secret is to making a low budget movie look like it's a Canadian movie. But by gosh, it's there. This one is crawling with Canadian low budget horror movie here. And it was fun seeing Adam West show up. It was fun seeing Tina Carrere, who went on to bigger and better things, as almost anyone involved with this movie would have to. But it doesn't linger in my mind. I've seen it twice now, and what I most remember about are actually some of the funny lines from Mystery Science Theater 3000. Yeah, that's not a great sign.
This is like starting in the mailroom in Hollywood. This movie, you can only go up from there.
Yeah.
All right, Crystal Cleveland, Zombie.
I loved
Nightmare.
This is quite.
I gave you
possibly.
time. I gave you time to decide.
No. I really do know how I feel about this movie. I know how I feel about everything. I'm very decisive. But it's still a little confusing because, as I explain it, this is probably, most certainly, quite definitely the worst movie I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, hands down. Literally the absolute worst movie I have ever seen. And
that is a bold statement, Chris.
I am not exaggerating. Like, I actually started watching it and I was like, it's Chad's pick, isn't it? Like, that's what I was thinking, because I was like, there's no one else that would choose this.
The mark
piece
of shame.
Poop. However, I will say that I watched the entire movie and I was a little riveted. I think that's just good enough for a one-time watch, though. Okay, it's not street trash where it's kind of funny and comes off. It's just, it's so bad that I sat there with my jaw open. Like, the acting is bad, the editing is bad. There's so much to this. I don't even know how this movie was made. Like, it's really confusing because it starts off and you're like in the 50s.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then it switches to the 80s, I guess, to what was present time. And it's not very clear until until you figure out, oh, that was Adam West in that beginning scene. And okay, I get that now, which it doesn't matter. I see what they were trying to do in a lot of the instances of this movie with the creepy lady watching the, crime scenes. It was done so bad. It's so bad.
It was.
I was just like, I don't understand how it could be made so bad. Like, it's so bad, it's shockingly bad, but not campy bad. I don't even know I don't know how that's possible, but I do think it's something everyone should watch at least once. Yeah, because
you can't really enjoy it. You have to experience this.
Yeah,
this movie.
I agree. That's it. So I'm not sad I watched it. So that's weird. I don't know. That's awkward to me. Yeah.
In my defense, it's not like I go back and try and watch this movie multiple times, but somebody will tell me, oh, I saw such and such this weekend and it was horrible. And I'm like, wait a minute. Hold my beer. Let me show you what a horrible movie looks like.
That is
well, everybody's got their versions of that. And I've got one. I'll send you a link, Crystal, that I actually had to review called Raiders of the Lost Shark.
That sounds horrible. Yeah.
But it's probably exactly what they wanted it to be. But anyway, all right. Zombie Nightmare. Yeah, I'm with you. And apparently I totally missed something, because I think the girl in the early scenes, back in the 50s, that's Molly Mekembe as a teenager. Yeah, I didn't get that until way later.
That was horribly done.
Yeah.
I was this days old. I wasn't paying attention to this movie to pick up on these nuances. It just, So, okay, that's clever, I guess.
Yeah.
It was almost geniusly subtle in its the way they didn't put it
geniusly subtle. But I did get that the little kid was the grown-up.
Right.
The grown-up kid was the guy played by John Mikl Thor. That I got. So anyway,
that could have been the ham-handed transition between the little boy with the baseball cap into the grown man.
They're I think you're right. They're not being a metal music fan. There wasn't a whole hell of a lot to like in this movie for me. Although I kind of got into the effects were so bad that everything about the shooting of these scenes was just bad. And there's stuff that we found out about this after I watched it and then do the research, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But it
all makes sense.
Explains.
Oh, it does. Okay, good.
It sort of explains a lot. This movie was a train wreck happening. while they were doing it. But anyway, yeah, and the zombie seems to change the first time we see the zombie.
Yeah, 3 different zombies, 3
He's
or 4
got
different zombies. We
really long hair, and he's kind of short, and then so I guess he's supposed to be Tony, the John Mikl Thor character, but then later he's taller and has short hair, but it's kind of supposed to be the same guy.
They ran out of stuntmen.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it was,
we'll
zombie.
fix it in
He's gotta
post.
be
Nobody
big.
will notice.
He's got to be big.
Mhm.
Anyway, let's go on from there. All righty, and that which brings us to what is it that we're doing now?
Hell if I know.
I lost everything. It's time for taglines with Chad. Actually, since it was done in Quebec, I should have used this one.
I'm French. Why do you think I have this outrageous accent?
Okay.
There you go.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I used that for Vampire's Kiss last week because of Nicolas Cage's accent in that movie.
And
there isn't anybody in here with a French accent anyway, so I don't know why I said that except Quebec. So, all right, taglines.
Okay. The taglines for the movie Zombie Nightmare are as follows. And God help me, they're almost as bad as the movie.
Oh, no.
All right. The first one is the wasted ain't wasted.
Okay.
Okay.
And the most genius tagline of all.
Yeah.
Featuring the music of Motorhead, Girls' School, and Thor.
Okay.
Yeah,
well,
that's
that's actually the best one because then that would
lead with your strengths. Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yep. All right.
Motorhead was actually the title song, right?
Yeah, Ace of Spades, which everybody plays that. So that was anyway. Now the third one. And here's a zombie tale that will give you the creeps.
Oh God. Oh my God.
So you say it's Motorhead, huh? Okay.
I'm trying to figure out what the thought was there.
Yeah, there wasn't. There wasn't. That's the problem. Yeah.
A lot of thinking going on here.
Yeah. Number 4. Her power goes beyond life. His rage survives even death.
Actually, that's not that bad.
That's not horrible.
Comparative to the others.
They should have saved it for a different movie.
Yeah.
A better movie. Any movie.
He was so full of rage, you could just tell he was
So angry.
emoting rage, just
Mm-hmm.
pouring off of him like sweat.
Like oil.
Yeah, or muscle oil.
Oh, gross.
Number
Okay.
5.
Oh, they just keep coming.
Your wife's dreams are about to come true.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Someone's gave me a ticket to go see Zombie Nightmare. Ah!
Yeah.
My worst dream.
Mm-hmm.
And those are your taglines for Zombie
And
Nightmare.
that's been
I'm glad they're over.
taglines with Chad.
Yeah.
Sketch is over. The sketch is over.
Yeah.
Let's get this over.
Okay.
They were
just having
appropriate
fun
for the
now.
movie because they stunk.
Oh yeah, you went for a twofer on that one.
I'm just playing now. All right. So
Well,
let's take a look at some posters.
The
That's a
poster
decent
looks
poster.
sweet. Yeah, I do
If
love
it was
the
really
poster.
the zombie lady, but that looks
yeah,
nothing
that
like
looks like a kind of a Giallo-ish, Lucio
Yeah.
Fulci type thing. Suckers.
Who is that in the poster?
It's supposed to be
The painter's
Madam
girlfriend.
Zimbabwe or whatever her name
What?
is.
What?
What?
Yeah.
Oh, the
The voodoo
painter's
lady.
girlfriend.
Yeah.
The artist of the poster.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, I was like, wait, what? I'm so confused. That's
We
unfortunate.
don't know. It doesn't look like her in.
No,
you know,
it's not.
Those are way better zombies than we
the
saw
stupid
too. So.
tagline. I'm wondering if they weren't pushing for a kind of like selling this as a comedy, because the tagline, that stupid tagline, is almost as large a font as some of the title. I mean,
Yeah.
I took it as a comedy. Now you've got these two. These are two of the stages of the zombie makeup, and I felt like whoever did the first makeup said, "F this, I'm out of here."
Yeah.
And so they changed the makeup again, and then they threw in a line that said, "Oh, he's going through many changes."
No, he doesn't even look
yeah.
like he's the same
He doesn't
actor
even
anymore.
look like it. The second time he rose from the grave, he didn't have any makeup on his hands or anything. He just had human
Well, come on.
bare hands. Crazy.
That was the face with the holes in it and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Well,
we've
the
got
version
this,
I saw-
believe.
Oh, there's
go ahead.
kind of a variation. No,
Oh.
I was just going to say
British.
the version
Looks like
I saw.
it's British.
They also fixed a lot of the continuity effects by filming it so poorly that I couldn't tell what was going on.
Yeah. Put this cheesecloth over the lens.
Or let's see, if it's really bright outside, let's have the actors stand in front of the sun to make sure that they are basically silhouettes.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not have them turn around so that the sun is lighting the scene. That's crazy talk.
So it's interesting to me. Like this has sort of a phantom nightmarish quality to the coloring, and then this one they went more for
Comic book.
pink
Yeah.
comic. Yeah, I don't know. So, okay,
Okay.
Well,
and this one also they've got it covered up, but there's hands coming up, holding up the title or something. I don't know what they're doing. That's on a couple of the posters. I could not tell what that was supposed to be, but it was
Vogue.
there.
Yeah.
yeah. Strike the pose.
So we got to get to this right away. So here's Adam West.
Oh boy.
Boy, did he make a use of that prop cigar, man.
Yep.
The crooked policeman.
He was acting.
He
I mean, he
wasn't
was.
bad. I mean,
he wasn't
was at
bad.
best.
No, he wasn't.
Bad. I
Compared to
felt
the
bad
other.
for him, though. I felt bad that he's in this movie because it's like, he's Adam West, he's Batman, he's a cultural hero.
I think
He's
it was
trying.
a quick paycheck. According to some of the info we saw, he shot his part in 2 days and was studying the script, while it was going on. He probably didn't even see the script before he got there, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
But we do have the one memorable scene in the movie that I like, and this is our spoiler. We're spoilers, guys. We're going to get into it. I found this. I hope this turns out okay, this GIF.
Benny Hill.
Yeah.
I like that. Obviously, it was a little slower on the thing, but
Yeah.
you can almost see the carpet grass or the sod or whatever it was move as they pulled him down in the hole.
But that was pretty cool. Gets pulled down to hell. Why
That's
not?
where the heft of the budget went for that.
Oh, I'll
scene,
bet.
I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
Well, to Adam West,
Yeah.
and to that, multiple zombies in that scene. That's when she has him rise from the graveyard, right?
Well, he had supposedly had served his purpose, so all the smoke was coming out of his eyes, but then he still wasn't done because he had Adam West left to go.
Yeah, he was a crooked cop. What was the deal with that? Wasn't there?
Well, he was a good cop who did that a long time ago, and now it's become uncovered.
okay.
Yeah.
So he decided to kill everybody.
Yeah,
All
which
right.
is crazy.
Yeah.
It's weird.
And tell everybody what he's going to do.
He's a
A
good
classic
cop.
Batman villain, really. Who's it's not enough. Listen, if there were people who I thought needed killing, it'd just be pop, 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 and that's the end of it. I don't need to go into this big long monologue, but super villains got a super villain.
Yeah. I intend to kill you, Mr. Bond.
Slowly, after I tell you about my plans.
I'm going to put you on a platform that slowly lowers you into a pool of sharks.
While a laser shoots forth across
Yeah.
your
Yes.
But I can't stand here and watch. I have things to do. So I'm going to leave now.
Mhm.
Don't you escape.
Don't go getting any strange ideas about escaping.
Those are anyway. Well, we also have our metal star here, John Mikl Thor.
So there he is at the top in the movie.
Yeah.
There is
That's him in a more recent.
Rock and Roll Nightmare with the hair. Look at that hair.
Yeah.
This man was single-handedly responsible for almost destroying the ozone layer back in the 1980s.
He had beautiful hair. I mean,
Yeah. And that's him at the bottom in more recent times. Not as much hair, but he's still out there doing it. You know,
Yeah.
God bless him.
Put a new album out a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
Or
good for
maybe
him.
last year, yeah. Worst heavy metal ever.
He's no Christopher Lee.
No.
No.
this is.
I can't help but like this guy, though.
I know.
Yeah,
I like that he's still doing it with no
hair.
You know?
He looks more like Odin now than Thor.
Yes.
with no embarrassment, no inhibitions whatsoever. I'm out there doing it. We get old, and this is the way I look. I'll bet
Now,
he still bends. You think he still bends stuff though?
He could bench me right through a window if he heard any of the stuff we say about him. Yeah, I'm sure, you know. If he's on his deathbed from old age, he'll probably be able to get off and kick my ass. And, you know, you think about this movie, like I said, when I saw him at the concert, it just reminded me of like this guy is like kind of like a real life superhero thing. And this movie is basically Batman, right? He sees his dad die. So he spends the next 12 years or whatever working out, lifting weights, oiling himself up and everything. And you know, there he is. Now he goes out and he fights crime. It just, you
As
know,
a zombie.
yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. And
I
then
think
he gets
the
killed.
Crow did it better.
The Crow did it with a little bit more style and technical competence and
A
every
little.
other good thing.
A teeny bit. We'll give him credit.
Smidgen. Just a smidgen. They had better marketing for the Crow. That was the big
that was the whole thing.
Right.
Yeah.
That's it.
Hollywood politics, man. Hollywood politics.
Totally.
That's what we should have done, was just review this movie like it was just the best movie ever. Just to see what everybody would say.
And then we'd have to have an entire episode
Actually, that
of
would be
reading the
interesting.
feedback.
Yeah.
It's like, what were you guys
Yeah.
smoking and where can I get some?
We were smoking John Mikl Thor's hair.
Woof.
Yeah.
So this is weird. So we have Adam West, the one cop that isn't really directly. He just sits at the desk and gets reports basically until the end. We have John Mikl Thor as Tony, and we also have
Tia Carrere.
Tia
Carrere as the talkie guy's, or no, the one guy's girlfriend, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
That gets he gets a pole. No, what does he get? Yeah. Anyway,
It was so memorable.
Yeah, right. Oh, yeah. It just lingers in the head.
That was
she
the thing.
has-
He gets
It bothered
impaled
me
with
about
the bat,
these-
I think. or something.
Yeah, no, that was the other guy,
Oh.
the
Wow.
long-haired guy. But
yeah,
these
right,
were the
right.
two worst deaths.
Oh yeah, hers. You don't even know what happened to her. Technically, she was just
yeah.
against the wind.
She just
the
slammed up
glass.
against the window.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just bad. I mean, you expect cool kills in a movie like this. Nobody got eaten.
No.
Just get their head slammed against the wall and a little spatter of blood.
It felt like they
That's it.
ran out of time. Like, oh God, the sun's coming up. Just you know,
Yeah.
we got to do this. I've been there.
We got to get out
But
of the Lowe's
she's-
parking lot.
And you know, you could sort of see she has a certain quality. You know, this is one of her first roles, maybe her absolute first role. You could see where she's going places. She has a good look, and she went and did some cool stuff.
Wayne's
Yeah.
World.
It's her.
And what I don't remember.
It's her first movie.
really
She did a
anything
bunch of
else.
TV series episodes.
Well, she was in True Lies too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she was good in that.
32 episodes on General Hospital
Oh.
from 85 to 87.
I'll bet all the other actors on the show kept asking her about Zombie Nightmare. What was it like being in Zombie Nightmare?
In the presence of John Mikl Thor.
She did an A-Team. She did an Airwolf, Tour of Duty.
She made
She
the
was
rounds.
on the miniseries Noble House, which was another James Clavell sort of blockbuster miniseries they used to have on network TV. But she's
I
got
think
over
if
100 credits.
Yeah, no, she's done all right for herself. But I have a feeling like if she were an up and coming actress at this time, that she would really do well because she's got that look, and diversity is a lot more popular than she was kind of an exotic actress back then. So maybe the opportunities were kind of limited for her. I think now she would do much better, but I still like her, so I'm glad she's still working. And
she did a Friday the 13th, the series, an episode of that. Quantum Leap, Married with Children.
She's a likable, recognizable presence. So,
and of course, is it Wayne's World? Is that what?
Wayne's World, yeah.
Wayne's World.
Excellent.
Harley Davidson in the Marble Man.
She was in that.
Says she was. I don't recall what Kimiko.
But I haven't seen that in
Kimiko.
years. So.
Yeah, I haven't.
These are all fine projects, but they're not Zombie Nightmare.
Yeah.
She was not. She wasn't that high on the credits. Down a little bit. Wow. Now I need to go watch that again. Giancarlo Esposito's in that. The stuff you find out.
Yeah.
Chad. I love you, Chad.
What?
I love Chad so much. He's like wonderful.
I missed it. I got to watch
Despite the
it.
fact that he picked this movie.
No, actually, Actually,
Are we
maybe
not
because-
entertained?
Yeah, we are.
We are.
Totally.
We got to have a stinker like this every now and then to cleanse the palate, as it were. Make us appreciate the others. Next week, whatever we do next week, we're going to be like, yeah, maybe that wasn't all that great, but it wasn't Zombie Nightmare.
Okay, I'm just gonna throw this out there to the listeners and to you guys. Watch Raiders of the Lost Shark.
Oh God.
And tell me.
What is it on?
I just looked. It's on Plex. Otherwise, it's like $2, and I wouldn't. I actually had to review it.
They should send us $2
for horrornews.net.
Is this a new movie?
No, it's like 8 years old. And in fact, I reviewed it, and Santos sent me a text and said, "You're a better man than me. I couldn't make it 20 minutes." I'm like, I didn't know I could turn it down. I had to review.
I thought this was something new because they're, shark movies are just like a big
hot.
thing. In fact, I'm in a shark movie.
If I remember right, it's a producing team that did a lot of these pun titles, blockbusters. I don't recall any of the rest of them, but I just figured this is what they do. They must be making money at it. They obviously didn't spend more than a dime or so on making it. Anyway,
sometimes that works.
Yeah, they're having fun.
Yeah.
Making things are having fun.
Hey, they're charging $2 for it on whatever, 8 years later.
So there's a $1.90 profit right off the bat. The first time somebody buys it.
Yeah. Well, obviously it cost more than that, but not a lot. Okay. One last thing about that movie. If you watch it, at least stick with it until you see the flying sharks.
Oh God. Okay.
You have to stick with it until you see the flying sharks, and then you have my permission to stop if you want to. Okay. All right. So what are we doing now? Oh, you actually have a slide called Scary Stuff here, Bill.
Well, yeah, that was there we go. Are any of those people Thor? I don't know.
That guy looked like him at least.
The top one?
Yeah.
Sort of. Might be. He's got makeup on, so it's hard to tell. I mean, I've seen worse zombies.
Yeah.
And that shot at the bottom is actually unusual for this film. Well lit. So
it has the script and the story for a good 80s zombie flick, revenge flick, but it was just executed so poorly, and the ideas and the story that it had were actually not bad.
I agree.
For the time, it was just executed so badly. It was
And did it seem like there were some scenes that were so incompetent? It's like, is this when the second unit director took over?
Yeah.
Or
Mm-hmm.
you know, we had to do reshoots and we had no money.
Yeah.
The shots in the high school by the swimming pool when he was chasing the girl were so blurry and out of focus. It looked horrible.
And then there's that one shot where every time they cut to the zombie, he's moving not in slow motion. It's like no motion. It's like a slow motion so slow that you're like, I'm not sure he's actually doing anything.
What's
and
Jeff
then they
doing
cut.
now?
I don't know. He's having.
I'm trying to see something in the bright light that's hitting my
Carry
face.
on, soldier.
Right back at you, Captain. That's America's ass.
Wrong hand, right?
Yeah.
Well, I thought see if you can see this one. It might be kind of dark, but that was kind of a decent.
It's not terrible.
That's what I don't get, though, is why they made it look so different every time.
Right. Well,
yeah, why not use the same mask?
I'm guessing. I'm just guessing.
Yeah.
These guys were well, let's talk about the people that made this movie.
Okay. Hey, can we just mention, because I don't think I have a picture of him, but oh my gosh, that one cop, the one who sounded like he was trying to do a bad impersonation
he's
of
the
Humphrey
heck
Bogart.
was
Medical
that?
examiner, but
He
yeah.
was the best.
He was.
as soon
I wanted more of
As soon
him.
as he came on, my everything just
That was
perked up. It's like,
ridiculous.
listen to this guy. I was elbowing my wife. Are you hearing this? What
Oh,
movie is he
boy.
in? What movie
Yeah.
did he think he was making?
It sounded like an impersonation of some comedy, like the impersonation of a comic impersonation of somebody like Jimmy Cagney or something.
Yeah.
Like it didn't sound like Jimmy Cagney at all, but it
No.
sounded like somebody maybe doing a bad impression.
It's like
or
someone who
something.
never-
I don't know what it was.
Someone who had never seen James Cagney but had a vague memory of a comedian imitating James Cagney, and he's imitating that guy.
Well, and I couldn't figure out who he is because most of these pictures don't have a picture, or most of these casts don't have a picture of him. And I, the titles are like, there's like 3 people labeled cop. I thought maybe he was a medical examiner.
I thought he was the medical examiner.
Yeah,
he
I
kept
think he
talking
was.
about how he died, right?
Yeah,
How long it was-
yeah.
yeah. Well, that guy's name is Dan Hagaplan or Hagaplan.
Okay.
Let's stick with Hagaplan.
Dean. I'm sorry, Dean.
Agaplan.
Hagaplan.
Dean. Well, I loved him in this movie,
Yeah,
and nobody told him to knock it off, so he just kept right on doing
yeah.
it. Like, I guess he
So
knows what
he
he's doing.
actually has over 100 credits.
Really?
And he was in Scanners. He was a programmer
Oh.
2, so we
Oh.
probably, he was in Snake Eyes
Snake
as latecomer, Bad Santa 2 as costume greeter, so it's one of those,
Bad Santa.
a lot of credits, but no character names, apparently. It's,
So he's like a guy who does a lot of extra roles, but by God, he put everything into it. He's like,
He
this may
did.
be there are no small roles, only small actors. And he said, I'm going to
make the most of this. They're going to
I'm
remember
glad
me.
you brought him up.
And-
I was,
and
I
by
couldn't
God,
find a
we
picture
do
of
remember him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Mr.
If I watched it again,
Mr. Hagapian, or however you pronounce your name,
Hagapan.
and I am not being sarcastic.
Hagapian,
Loved him. I loved him in this movie because
Hagopian. I thought
there
that
wasn't
was
much in this movie that caught my attention,
Yeah.
but he was great. He was fun.
I
He
think
was
I
hard
was
not
even
to notice.
when you're even
Yeah.
looking down at it, and he walks up, he just commands the whole.
Yeah, he
With that
just
voice.
takes over.
He just
Yeah.
takes over the
Right.
whole scene.
Yeah, the voice, dominated. And actually, the person who has, I think, maybe the most screen time is a guy named Frank Dietz as the young detective, Frank
yeah.
Sorrell.
And he's like underplaying the role. So you got this guy who's just sort of like reading off the script, and then you've got Hagapian just swinging for the rafters.
And
So,
those
yeah, that
scenes
was-
went on way too long, though. Even though
yeah.
he was in it, he was awesome. What happened here? Well, he got his eye poked out, and then he got his head smashed against a bus, and then blah 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 blah. for every killing, they had to go through the whole spiel of what's going on.
Wow, you and the guy made it sound way more exciting. It's like, yeah, we saw it happen. It wasn't that great, but
So we need to talk about.
let's talk about these filmmakers. How the hell did this happen?
Yeah. So what is this? The producer slash director's name, Jack Bravman. Why
What's
is
he
it that I
involved
think maybe Bill knows about him?
I see where you're going with this. Well, apparently Jack Bravman, as you may know him very well for, oh gosh, I can't even say these titles. Yeah, All in the Sex Family, Eaten Alive, Tongue in Cheek,
not the Toby Hooper movie, I'm sure.
Flash Pants, First Time at Cherry High. Lots of titles with the word girls in it. So Crystal's got some Blue Jeans, Wild Innocence, Honey Throat.
Honey
Honey
Drippers?
what?
Oh, Honey Throat.
Ew,
too, okay.
honey.
That's gross.
Okay.
The
Bill,
Pussycat Ranch,
how do you know the names of all these movies?
Night of the Spanish Fly, The Wetter, The Better.
Okay.
And on and on and on. He was grinding these things out like there's no. The closer to the bone, the sweeter the meat. Wow, I don't know how they fit that on the
Ew.
marquee.
Like that sounds like cannibalism. That's all I'm thinking about. So
Sex Family Robinson. So okay, he was making trasho porn movies from like the late 60s throughout the 70s and then well into the screaming 80s when I guess he decided this is just not very artistically fulfilling. I need to make a bad horror movie. And
that's
right
what
after
I've been saying. See,
Yeah.
Bill, it's like, yep, the worse the better. It's a thing.
Hey.
Ew.
So apparently, and I don't know, he contacted these guys though. All right, it blows me away. I mean, we're joking about them and laughing at them, but you got to look at their credits. Bravman said he knew about John Fasano because of his work on Blood Sister, and I'm like,
what the hell is
who knew about Blood Sister? And I don't even know what it is. Did he direct it? I'm looking down. I don't see Blood Sister anywhere on Fasano's credits, so I don't know what the deal is there.
But you know, when you're probably best known for Sex Styles of the Rich and Famous, Blood Sister probably seemed like Citizen Kane.
It's possible.
Because
Oh,
I'm
wait,
looking at this.
I see the problem. I'm not looking at.
I'm looking at this movie.
That was
and I'm
he
thinking,
was an actor.
This
in
is like a
Blood Sisters.
first-time film, like somebody making a movie for the first time, and they don't understand the rules, like don't have the freaking sun behind the actor and stuff. But no, he made a ton of movies. It's just that they were a ton of porno movies where, you know, the sets are limited, the everything's kind of limited. The demands are low.
He knew about John Fasano because of his work on Blood Sisters, which is described as 7 girls must spend the night in an old house, which once was a brothel, as part of an initiation.
Wow,
What could go wrong? And he's an actor in that one.
Oh.
So I don't know. So Fasano wrote the script, and apparently Bravman told him he was co-director. They would co-direct it, but he didn't bother telling any of the cast or crew that he was co-director. So when he told them to do stuff, they would balk at it. You know, who are you? What are you telling me to do?
I'm the guy who did Blood Sisters.
Yeah,
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
But even better. So Fasano, and then, oh God, it just goes more and more. But as I look at this stuff, and we'll have another one of these later on, I'm trying to find his producing credits. He was a producer on Tombstone.
The movie Tombstone?
Not the Kurt Russell one.
Yes.
I'll
The
be
classic?
your Huckleberry.
Associate producer 5 years
Right.
later on Tombstone.
Oh, that's a feather in his cap right there.
Yep.
Hey.
Producer on Darkness Falls.
Good movie.
Okay.
Tooth Fairy.
Anyway,
Yeah, people are
So-
allowed to, to do better in life and stuff. And
they
that's
are.
cool.
They are. So anyway, Fasano.
Oh, wait a minute. Fasano directed Rock and Roll Nightmare. Oh,
Oh,
Well, that makes more sense.
yeah.
Mhm.
yeah. The same year as Zombie Nightmare. All the talent went into Rock and Roll Nightmare. I'm going to tell you right there. So much better.
So the original script that was accepted
Was better.
was to have all the teens be black with black sounding names,
What?
setting the film in Fasano's hometown of Port Washington, New York, and offering local actors roles for the film.
Were they trying to be like? Was there a reason for that? Like, what
A
Yeah,
friend of
racism.
his,
yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I feel like.
well,
I'm
no,
like,
wait.
geez.
An
maybe.
associate professor at the University of Lethbridge, I don't know who this person is, Sean Brayton, described the original concept as a retribution narrative of a black character getting revenge on the white perpetrators of his death.
Well, I mean, I could just say this right now. The way they portrayed the voodoo queen, which is totally off-putting and
Yeah.
gross. So I'm just saying.
All right. But so what happened was it got changed to give the teens more white sounding names because investors were worried that a black centric cast would not sell in the foreign market.
Oh, that's
That-
sad.
And
that
according
is-
to this,
That is true.
Mhm.
and this stuff just kills me that it's, that they would write this all out, but I assume it has to be true. Having written the script on an IBM Selectric, Fasano typed the white sounding names onto a page and cut them out with a knife and glued them to the appropriate places in the original
Wow.
script.
That's a better practical effect than anything in the movie.
Yeah, it
Yes.
is.
After the name changes, they received a budget of $180,000 from investors.
Oh, there you
Well,
go.
and then he should have cast everyone as black with the normal, with just regular names.
Well,
It's,
yeah.
you
So-
know,
Here comes Kevin.
instead
So-
of like the fact that they said, see, this is what bothers me.
Black
This is-
sounding names.
Yes, God, that
Tyrone.
bothers me.
So unions in New York would not give the production a permit to film. So that's why they moved it to Canada, to Quebec,
Oh, okay.
to Canada, to Montreal.
The whitest country on earth. Well,
Mhm.
yes, I guess they lucked out.
So,
you
I'm
know,
not- I'm with you,
I've-
and
I've-
it's weird that somebody even wrote
Yeah.
this, that they wrote that they used black.
I've heard this thing that it can be a difficult sell, black casts in foreign movies. Not to pick on, because I don't know this for true. There's some countries that are rumored that the people just don't accept it, and yet at the same time, Blackula made a whole lot of money, and it's about as black a film as a film can get. Blackula made a ton of money.
Well, a lot of movies the whole blaxploitation in the 70s.
Yeah.
Shaft and Super.
But now
Spy.
it may be true that those films mostly made money here. Maybe
That's
maybe
possible.
all of
That's
Blackula's
possible.
money was in America. I don't know. It is true if you see some foreign films, low budget horror foreign films from that time, when they have a black person in the movie, you haven't seen racial stereotypes until you see, how foreigners sometimes treat their impression of American black
So,
people. So yeah.
Since you brought up the voodoo witch, Crystal, the woman that played her, Manuska Rigaud,
Mm-hmm.
was a professional Tina Turner impersonator,
Oh,
Oh wow.
I do love Tina
which kind of
Turner,
explains
though.
the hair.
Yeah.
Well,
right?
it explains her overacting.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
explains her
Okay.
the way she was talking.
I
too.
mean, my biggest issue with her
That makes
is
sense.
her accent was
Right,
terrible.
right.
I mean, atrocious, but not only that.
Every time
Okay.
she talked,
Yes.
she talked like this.
But she did this. She cry talked like
Yeah.
she
Yes,
tried to make
yes.
herself seem sad, like she was crying and talking, and I was like, "Just stop, just stop! You're killing me."
But that accent, I was just thinking
Whoa.
like 7-Up, cola nut, uncola nut. Yeah, it was very over the top.
I don't
Everyone
understand why did she even have to have the accent? I mean,
No.
come on.
Right. We know we're not in Jamaica. This is clearly Canada. So everyone in this movie feels like they are in a different movie.
Yeah.
And we're given no direction. So this guy wants to talk like a Borscht Belt comedian. Sure, whatever. She's doing this crazy live and let die thing. Whatever.
So weird. I mean,
Adam
it
West
does
is
give
doing
it
Adam
a little
West, sure.
charm, but because
Yeah, I guess.
it's just it's one of those things where you can't believe it's actually been filmed, but it was filmed, and the
Or the Italian guy. He just showed up and said, "Hey, can I do this like an organ grinder from a Bugs Bunny cartoon?" Yeah, sure, man. Whatever.
Even though your name is Peters, right?
Yeah, Mr. Peters.
The barber.
How's the provolone, Mr. Peters? It's so good today.
It's a good.
the
Tasty
provolone, she's always good.
Apparently,
Mr.
these were
Peters.
a bunch of friends of this John Fasano's. So Frank Dietz, the cop, was a friend of his.
You know, friends don't let friends act in movies like Zombie Nightmare.
Yeah.
I think
yeah.
the
Well, I would do it for money. I
Yeah,
don't
me
care.
too. Oh, I'd do it for a Klondike bar. What are we talking about? I'm the biggest hypocrite there is.
Bill and I would be locking arms like it's good, right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
good,
working
yeah.
is better than nothing, right?
Crystal,
Than,
you do a Russian accent, and I'm going to pretend to be a mime.
And
he's
I
like,
am
"Yeah, okay,
down.
mime."
I am totally good with that. I
Yeah,
will
an
do
elderly
it.
mime married
Yep.
a Russian agent. Sure, I like this.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sounds
Hands off my
wonderful.
mime. Get your hands off my mime.
The directors just gave them their head. You know, they just gave them.
Yeah.
So the two college friends of Fasano's did the makeup, Tony Bois and Andy Clement.
Never heard of him.
Said it took him 5 hours to apply John Mikl Thor's makeup
I
using
well believe
glue and latex.
Okay, glue and latex. Okay, yeah, sure.
Glue.
I mean, no, the makeup was not horrible. It was better than
No.
I would have probably pulled off. So-
no.
But you know, I'm thinking about
no,
this.
You would do better.
As bad as some of these actors are, you got to remember, these guys made porno movies. These people must have felt like
No.
I've gotten the Royal Shakespeare Company
Mhm.
compared to Buck Naked, the guy I was working
Okay.
with last week. You
Yeah.
know, this guy's fantastic. He remembers
So-
his lines and he's got an accent.
Fair
Another
enough.
weird story
Yeah.
about the making of the movie. The American cast and crew members were housed in an airport hotel with pornography being played on every television channel, and they noticed that Bravman's name appeared in the credits for many of the films.
Oh, no.
But maybe this is why they didn't respect him when he's the next day.
I don't know.
Oh.
Well, somewhere in here it says Bravman directed the scenes with Adam West and Tia Carrere. And that Fasano did the rest of them, but apparently they didn't respect that. I think also something, I assume, I could be making an assumption. I should actually look it up first. But the janitor whose name was Joe.
Yes, the one
He
that was
just-
just sitting there like saying crazy kids or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was
So that
reading
was-
Fangoria magazine.
that's Charles Biddle Sr. And the young Molly Mekembe was played by Tracy Biddle.
A father-daughter.
Oh, that's
duo, right?
I'm a
sweet.
wondering.
Yeah.
I'm a
Maybe.
wondering. There's no information about either one of them. So,
Well, Biddle's a pretty common name. You can't swing a dead cat without
Yeah.
hitting someone named Biddle.
Especially in Canada.
Sure. Think
Whatever
that
that
would
means.
It happens all the time. Like I would if I was doing something, I'd be like, "Hey, Bill,
Yeah.
get your ass over here. We got some stuff to do." Like, nepotism
Yeah.
is real and it's okay.
Of course. Yeah.
It's
no,
a thing.
no problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big
Yep.
thing lately, the nepotism baby stuff and I'm like, yeah, so your
It's-
dad's famous and he gave you a break in the business. That's called
Mhm.
being a good dad.
Yep.
Yeah.
well, I don't know. It says under Charles Biddle Sr. has a bio, and then in the trivia it says children Charles Biddle Jr. It doesn't say Tracy Biddle. So,
Okay.
Could have been his wife. Who knows?
Yeah.
It was the 80s.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow. Yikes.
his wife's name was Constance.
So much for that theory.
You guys
Yeah.
wanted to know that, right? But there's a guy too that He had a bit part. He only has 10 credits, but he was in Terror Train.
Oh,
Okay.
interesting.
Very Canadian.
Mm-hmm.
The whole night, and God, I hate saying this. So in Terror Train, he
Then
played.
don't say it.
Yeah, I'm like, what?
Well, he
Now
played
I'm
the
curious.
chief porter
The chief what?
Okay.
porter
Chief Porter.
on the
Okay.
train.
Is that a bad thing?
Is that a bad thing? Yeah, I
No,
have no idea what you're talking about.
it would be just a traditional black.
Kind of a cliche.
role.
Yeah.
I
okay.
literally have no idea what that is. So
The whole 9 yards. He
Chief
played a
porter,
bass
huh.
player.
Okay.
Anyway,
Anyway, this is way more than I needed to know about. This
I know.
movie.
Yeah.
I'm Phil. He is reading.
Well,
a
we gotta
Fangoria
talk about the
magazine
plot.
when he's sitting there reading the magazine.
Yeah.
yes,
So,
that's what Chad mentioned. Chad did
which is a
that.
guarantee that they're
Jeff
going to
doesn't
put
listen
the
to me.
picture.
I
that's
listen
to,
to you, Chad.
Thank you.
that's to get Fangoria to put your picture of your movie in there. It's like, if you had a picture of yourself reading Famous Monsters
Oh,
of
be
Filmland,
awesome.
I guarantee Forey Ackerman was going to put you on the cover.
Oh yeah. A lot of horror movies did that.
Yeah.
They'd have a character reading it, and it'd end up on there.
That's cool.
Or
So
Fangoria.
David Wellington was given co-writing credit, even though he was the editor, so that they would qualify for a Canadian tax credit program.
Oh, good for them. I get it. Yeah.
Oh man, that's gotta suck that you're forced to take part of the blame for something you had nothing to do with.
The writing wasn't horrible though.
Yeah,
Like
nah.
Chad mentioned, the story is actually kind of cool.
It's a
I mean,
solid story.
Yeah,
Yeah,
when you
no, it's
look
got
at
it's
just
got
the
a good
story,
premise.
it's actually great because I could totally it's just that they didn't do a good job filming it or editing
Mm-hmm.
it or translating because I get the story. There should have been a better transition from the 1950s to the 80s. That would make more sense. There's, it's like there should have been some indications that was for one, the girl in the 1950s should have spoken. So you would immediately know who she was. And they should have matched that. There's so many things that were done that were wrong that had nothing to do with the story, admittedly.
It's just technically incompetent. Okay, just like I'm watching this because I cannot get into this film, but I'm looking like the scenes with Adam West and just noticing the lighting is so bad that when he moves his hand, it's casting a shadow on his face. I'm like, again, porno production value.
Yeah.
Where and because your audience, when you're making porn movies, they don't care if it's good or bad. There's only one thing they want. So as long as you have enough light that they can see the action, it doesn't matter that you've got the 3-point lighting down pat. But what the hell, man? Your name is still going on this. Show a little pride in your work. It doesn't take forever to set up lighting in a way that works.
I wonder too if he was shot not even in the same room as the other dude because clearly Adam has less screen time and a lot of it is in that office until that final scene or whatever. So I'm wondering if they just shot all that at one time.
Well, he was on there 2 days.
Probably.
That's what it said in here, if that's accurate.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
So probably one day in the office scene and one day at the graveyard.
Yeah. So do you guys know who Pee Wee Piemonte is?
No.
Yeah, he sells hot dogs down on the corner.
No.
I thought he played shortstop for the Mets.
The role of Tony was originally given to bodybuilder Pee Wee Piemonte.
It's a bodybuilder named Pee Wee. That's ironic.
Yeah. Days into production, he was fired for eating all the craft services and the meals of crew members.
Oh my God.
Awesome.
Wait, what?
He ate all the food.
He ate all the food. And then it says he was replaced by John Mikl Thor. Now, it says he was a bodybuilder,
Who
but
does that? Oh my
I just
God.
looked at his credits. This guy
Okay.
has 308 credits
Wow.
as a stuntman and stunt coordinator.
Oh,
I'm surprised he didn't get kicked off. Like, you can't be eating everybody's food, dude. Come on.
yeah, but you know that the whole crew was terrified to say anything because this guy's a bodybuilder and a stuntman. He could kick all their asses without breaking
Pee
a
Wee
sweat.
Piemonte.
He'd be beating them up with one hand and eating their food with the other, not even pausing.
Well, is two-time Emmy winner.
Okay.
What?
Let me check out what he got him.
So
for
getting
stunts
fired
for
from this
SEAL
movie
team.
did not ruin his career.
No.
Well,
Outstanding stunt coordination for a drama series, SEAL Team 2017.
Oh, so he as a stunt coordinator. Okay, that makes more
And
sense.
stunt coordination for a drama series, Southland. And those were nominees. The winner was Southland. Both of them were Southland for individual episodes
Okay.
in 2009. Anyway, I
You know, it
find that
sounds like the
interesting.
making. This is
And-
another one of those. The making of this movie is way more entertaining than the
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
So
Someone
an
should be shooting
IMDb
behind the scenes.
his IMDb photo is him wearing a tuxedo with a white tie and no sleeves.
Classy.
Okay.
It
Lots
is.
of oil.
Mm-hmm.
No,
Lots of
no
muscle
oil.
oil.
Mm-hmm.
Also,
Oh no! Here we go.
Ate the craft service table. That's
No, did
getting
you
funnier
see-
and funnier. the more
Yeah.
I
I
think
can't. I
about it.
can't.
This is
I'm
even
like,
better.
I would want to beat his ass, man.
so the
because let me-
father,
Ooh.
Tony's father, right?
Yeah.
He was supposed to be played by superstar Billy Graham,
Oh, that would have been
What?
awesome.
the wrestler.
That would make sense that he would give
Yeah.
birth to Thor as opposed to this
Yeah.
big tub of goo.
Yes. But on the day that he arrived in Montreal, no one came to
no.
pick him up at the airport, and he left after waiting 10 hours.
Good.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. They
Good.
left superstar Billy Graham.
That
They
would have
had
made
a-
a lot more sense than
Well, the guy who played his father was John Fasano.
easy Pete.
So-
Probably the guy
okay.
who was supposed to pick him up, you know.
That's why the
So-
acting was horrible.
That's
Like
why
that
that-
was the worst.
That
That's
was
why
shit.
bad.
that fight
Ever.
sucked too. If it was Billy
Oh,
Billy
God,
Graham,
This
fight
is so
was a
funny.
joke.
Superstar, I mean, Chad probably knows, but superstar Billy Graham was like Hulk Hogan before Hulk Hogan.
Yes,
he
yes.
was a big, strong bodybuilder type. He was not one of these big, burly wrestlers and everything. So it makes perfect sense that he would give
Yeah.
birth to Thor. It
Mhm.
doesn't make perfect sense that those two goofballs were going to be able to stab him to death. Superstar Billy Graham could have
Mhm. Not to
beaten him with
mention
a flip of his head, but
the fight would have looked more realistic.
oh
Yeah.
God, yeah. Oh, that was
Oh, the fights were terrible.
the
So
fights
bad.
were terrible.
Phantom punches everywhere.
Yeah, yeah.
So one last little
They
makers of
kept
this
him waiting
movie.
at the airport while they were
That's-
trying
That's
hours.
garbage. That's garbage.
because they were trying to wrestle this guy away from the craft service table, and it's like
I don't know.
I would have
Oh,
waited the 10 hours, and whoever showed up first to pick me up, I would have beat their ass.
body slammed him.
I mean,
So-
who does that? Like, you need to have your. See, that's why this movie is garbage. No one had control of anything.
That's not the only reason.
That is absolutely
It's
unacceptable.
indicative of the problems going on.
Yeah.
One last amazing fact. Who is the most annoying character?
His mother's wig.
Yeah,
Yeah, the kid
well,
with
that-
the hair.
Yeah,
Yeah, that kid was
Yeah.
the most.
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
jerk.
Shawn Levy,
Yeah.
executive producer of Stranger Things.
Really?
That's the Shawn
That
Levy?
makes so
Yes.
much sense, though. Okay, but look at his love for look at that hair. I mean, he committed, so he
Yeah.
loves the
Oh, he
80s.
did.
So
did.
it makes sense.
Now,
that
he
I
was-
haven't seen all
you
the
know,
seasons
he-
of Stranger Things.
Oh,
Has there been any
phenomenal.
reference to this movie? Because it's hard
no,
to
You know,
believe.
that's a good
not that I
question.
know of.
There
I
could
doubt
be.
it.
I never thought about it.
I doubt it.
Not that I can think
Well,
of.
maybe-
off the top of my
I mean-
head, but-
Maybe the one brother with the hair. I don't know.
No,
well,
because
he does kind of look like that one
Like
kid
Billy?
with the mullet. Yeah.
Have a scene
Maybe
where the
not.
kids come home and they discover someone's eating all the food in the fridge, and they're really upset about it.
And it's
Let me
Pumbo
tell you-
Clemente.
It's
let me
Pee-wee.
tell you, that just chaps my ass because as an actor, like when I'm on set, I don't
Yeah.
eat until the end of shooting day. And let me tell you, I don't even eat that much, but if somebody
Mofo.
ate everything, let me
He did-
tell
he
you
didn't
what.
get it.
I don't ask for much. I'm like a pittance, sir. But for him to eat everybody and the crew,
Not only
I
what was on the table, but everybody else's lunch.
yeah, that's so wrong. That's so.
Oh man, I would love to see Crystal get. She finishes her scene, great job. She goes back to the table, and there's some stunt coordinator with sticky fingers and crumbs all around his feet, and just
Oh
an
my
empty table of
God.
wrappers.
I'd make him cry. I'd make him cry. Well, for everybody, like,
Yeah,
because my heart. I mean, everybody's important, the crew and all that.
That's
And it's like them not getting food, they're not gonna. Nah.
Well,
Just-
Pee Wee, you'll live in infamy on this show.
Yeah.
So I just want to point out that at the beginning of this podcast, before we got on, we were all afraid we were not going to be able to fill up any amount of time talking about this movie. And once
Hour
again,
and
we have
15
come
minutes.
through.
We're long.
So yeah,
We'll always
He
find
was-
something
so-
funny.
Well, there was some bullshit going on in this movie, man.
Yeah,
That's
there
right.
was. That's.
but this just amazes me. Shawn Levy, who played that bratty teenage kid, and he had the big hair
Yeah.
thing, and he was playing it for every. He never did anything without flipping his head one way or the other.
Uber
His hair-
jerk. Yeah.
He's the one that got
hair
killed with the
gone.
baseball bat.
Yes. And he was nominated for an Oscar as producer for Arrival,
Oh, that's a great movie.
2016.
See, he knows good movies, so
Mhm.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's done a lot of cool work. It just was one of those things. I was looking for pictures, and it popped up this picture of him as that character, and then it said, it was sort of a then and now executive producer of Stranger Things. I'm like, what?
So we've got to say something for such a bad marginal movie. This one has a far higher average than most of people who were in the movie went on to do much bigger and better
Yeah.
things.
yeah.
Yes.
Stranger
Someone was
Things, even.
Yeah.
Someone was casting well or got incredibly
Well,
lucky. I mean,
Or they were just willing to work hard. I mean, I doubt he has any really good credits as an actor. Just saying.
He's got like 29 credits as an actor, but I don't.
recognize any.
He recognized where his talent lies, and that lies in seeing talent in others that
Right.
he's willing to put money into,
And that's smart.
and that's smart. Yep. I mean, a producer's a big deal. Like they're important.
They're
He
the ones who
played a-
pick up the Oscar.
He played a morgue worker in an episode of Stranger Things. So
I
get
bet
a
he
little-
didn't have any
little
lines.
thing in. You're probably right.
I'm such a jerk. But no, I don't.
You should
mean it
look
like
and see
that.
see
It's
what kind of
okay.
hair he had, because that's a place they could have doubled back on it.
I'm not gonna lie. He has or had fantastic hair.
oh,
I mean,
by the way,
come on.
His hair looks good
one-
now. It was-
One other thing about Shawn Levy,
Mhm.
we can make all the fun we want of him. He is the director of Deadpool 3.
Yay, that's fun.
So
wow.
yeah.
Yep.
So there you go.
Wow.
That's awesome.
All right. I think we may have overstayed our welcome here.
Yeah.
Much like this movie, yeah.
Any final
Ooh,
comments?
bum, bum.
Anybody, or have we beat it?
Movie
to
still
death?
sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think this horse is well and truly dead.
but I do think everyone should watch it.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
and
so
Maybe you'll have as
feel,
much fun as we did.
I really do like for people to feel my pain. So I ask our listeners out there to immediately get on Tubi. It's free. You don't have to pay for it.
They have the MST 3000 version on there too.
That's the one I recommend.
Oh, that's what I need to watch.
That's
that
what I
one.
should have watched. I love
So
it.
yeah, you got Girls School, Motorhead, Fist,
Mhm.
Virginia
Ouch.
Steel, Death Mask, Battalion. I don't know any of these.
Never heard of those guys.
Rusty Hamilton, aka Queen Pantera,
Oh, well, I know him under his Christian name of Queen Pantera.
Nighthawk,
Nighthawk, yeah.
The Things.
Not familiar
Great
with
name
them.
for a band, yeah.
Yeah.
That's in the album, the soundtrack album, or CD, I should say. All right, well, that's it for Zombie
Nightmare.
Mhm.
And yeah, there was, by the time you got done talking about Billy Graham and Pee Wee Malaki, and
There's a lot to talk about. This is fun.
Yeah.
Fat Boy
pornography.
Fasano, yeah.
Yeah.
So we have some feedback
Oh.
Hey.
already
Okay.
for Vampire's Kiss.
Uh-oh.
You guys all in the
No.
right spot?
No.
Trying to think. That was
I got it.
Crystal pick. So,
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
well, why don't
I'm okay.
Chad, you take the one by Lee Milner?
Okay. I'm sorry I missed this episode, but I hated this movie so much. I just wanted to
Yeah.
Lee Milner says, love the Decades of Horror podcasts, even though sometimes the show is much better with Chad in him.
Oh,
Wait.
I'm sorry.
I
Much
must have
better
a different version.
the show is much better than the films feature. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
Oh, that's true.
I got my ABCs mixed up. Okay, hold on. Definitely the case with Vampire's Kiss and Love at First Bite.
Oh, yes, Jim Carrey. Mhm.
Struggled to make it
Yeah.
through.
No,
those
not that
two.
one.
No, not
This
that one.
is the George Hamilton one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Two awful movies.
Yeah.
I
We share
agree,
your
buddy.
pain, brother.
I'm
I
sorry.
agree.
Actually,
I'm sorry.
and I appreciate the comment. This might be one of those too. I
Yeah.
don't know. I just
Oh, this is horrible.
Definitely.
Yeah, this is much worse than Vampire's Kiss. I know you may hate Vampire's Kiss. This is much worse.
Oh, yeah.
so
Maybe.
Crystal,
Yes.
you want to take the one from Mikey Z?
Z.
Okay. Used to confuse this with Vamp. Yes, which I did not see until your podcast. I enjoyed Vamp. Not a fan of this 80s film with Nick Coppola Cage. Always liked Nick Cage since Cotton Cub. Is it Club? Cotton
Club.
Club. Yeah. But this one made me feel. This one made me cage free until The Rock. Holy that's funny, actually. Okay.
Cotton Cub's actually a toilet paper brand. Go ahead.
Oh, awesome. Okay. Saw it back on HBO in the late 1980s and was not enamored with Nick's histrionics, which he latched onto in a lot of his future efforts. That's true. Like Crystal, I saw his character as one, like the later Patrick Bateman, who lives in a fantasy world where he thinks the events as indicated in the film occurred, but are all in his head. Even the therapist scene is imagined. Exactly. See, I totally, yeah. Hey, Bill, another over-the-top smackdown would be Oliver Reed, Richard Harris versus Bruce Campbell, Jeffrey Combs.
Richard Harris. Yeah.
No, Bruce Campbell, Jeffrey Combs, totally. Besides the gallons of booze imbibed from Reed and Harris, the sound crew would lose many an eardrum with that conflagra. You know what?
Conflagration.
What are you trying to do to me, Mikey? Okay, to be fair,
words.
each of those
Yeah.
performers was totally capable of subdued
Oh, yeah.
performances. Yeah,
Sure.
that's
Let's
true.
let's see how smart Crystal really is.
Great insights by the Grue-Crew. Jaws 3, really, Crystal?
Hell yeah.
Really, Mikey? It's super good. Then you have to see Frankenstein Island. Okay, I'm going to watch it.
You know, he's trying to push that garbage since day one.
Oh,
There, I said it. I'm throwing down the gauntlet.
throwing the gauntlet right back
Yep.
at you.
Great podcast, Grue-Crew. As always, keep being gruesome.
You keep pushing
being
this.
gruesome.
You keep pushing Frankenstein Island. We're going to send Pee-wee to your house to clean
Yeah.
out your fridge and pantry and everything.
And see, all I think of with Pee Wee is Pee Wee Herman, and I'm like,
Yeah.
bring
That's
it.
just funny.
Yep.
Yeah.
Frankenstein
You know,
Island.
last episode, Chad, we read, he had some suggestions, and we made a comment about how he didn't even bring up Frankenstein Island, and then we went, oh,
Oh,
we
yeah.
brought it up.
Cursed ourselves.
Have y'all seen it? Is it that
Yes.
bad?
Yes.
Okay, I got
But you know what? We are going to do it one day because the only just to give me a chance to talk about the filmmaker Jerry Warren, who made a lot of movies, and they were all terrible, but few of them were as terrible as Frankenstein Island.
Frankenstein Island.
I'll just throw one
Sounds
thing out
cool.
there. Literally, there's characters in this movie that they have little tridents. You know those little tridents you can buy at Halloween, the little plastic ones?
Yes. No.
That's a prop in this movie.
No. I love it. That's funny.
Well, that or Loch Ness Horror. We got to.
Yeah, it would make Jerry happy when we do that one.
All right. Thanks for the feedback, guys, Mikey and Lee. I
Please.
think you commented before, but we appreciate it.
Sounds
Yes.
fresh.
We love our listeners too.
Yes.
So,
Thank you.
um,
I'm sorry it was vampires. I thought more people would like Vampire's Kiss, honestly.
And
I like
it was Nick Cage to me. I hated that accent thing he had
Oh.
going on, man. It
Yeah.
aggravated me so bad.
I love
More than
that.
Shawn Levy in Zombie Nightmare.
Oh, wow.
All right, so that's it for this episode. But every 2 weeks, we focus on a specific film released between 1980 and 1989. Next up is one chosen by me.
can't
And
wait.
we're going to do
Mhm.
Chud.
Yay! It's been a long time though.
Okay. Quiz for the end of the show. What does Chud stand for?
Cannibalistic,
Cannibalistic,
humanoid, underground dwellers.
Very good.
Excellent.
Yes.
From 1984 with John Hurd and Daniel Stern.
Mhm.
Wow, it's been too long. Look a while.
Yeah, it's been a while, but
Mm.
I'm kind of looking forward to it. I was
Yeah.
kind of surprised
Oh,
we've
I am
never
too.
done it. So make sure you join us for that one. Plenty of ways to stay in touch. Please, if you're listening to this and you haven't, subscribe to our YouTube
Yes.
channel. Even if you listen to the audio, just go in there and subscribe. It's not going to hurt. It doesn't hurt.
Does it cost you anything?
Not like this
No.
episode did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? I
We
wonder,
watched the
do
movie, so
people
you
make
don't
it
have to.
through to the end. Do they watch the whole thing?
I don't know. I should do the pitch at the beginning.
I'm like, do they do it at the end? Because this is long. We like to talk.
Mhm.
We do.
So,
We do.
yeah.
Well, yeah, this isn't like your normal 7 to 10 minute YouTube
Mm-mm.
movie review.
It's
you
a
know?
deep
No.
dive.
This is like 4 friends sitting around the barroom table talking.
Yeah.
You want to download this and listen on long trips. I'll tell you right now, it's rare that I make one of my long trips to upstate New York or Canada where I do not listen to the Humanoids from the Deep episode.
Oh, really?
It makes me laugh every single time.
Oh, I gotta
It's
go
the
back
first
and
time
check
I'm
it out.
hearing it. Like, yeah, it's so funny. Crystal is so on fire
I
for that podcast.
It's such a rapey movie.
Yeah.
Such a rapey movie.
Oh, I remember now. Yeah.
Like
All
I
right,
have,
folks.
I have my moments. Yeah.
So, yeah, subscribe, leave comments on the YouTube channel, send email to feedback@gruesomemagazine.com, or check out the Facebook page. I can never remember Gruesome Magazine's HNR and DOH Facebook group, or even the website gruesomemagazine.com, where you can get all of this stuff plus more.
Plus,
And I plan on being drunk during the next podcast.
you do if you.
Yeah.
That would be so funny if we got we should totally do that. Like it would be so bad. I haven't drank in so long. It took like one drink for me, but I
Okay.
say stupid.
I'll be the
things.
designated driver.
Crystal,
Yeah.
Crystal, and I will drink during get
Okay.
drunk for the
Okay.
podcast.
Okay, I'll do it.
Oh,
It's like a
I
science
don't
experiment.
know.
Yeah, let's see what
I'm like,
idiocy
wait,
comes out.
that's stupid.
Crystal, I love you, man.
I love you too, Jack. I'm so glad I'm not drinking alone. Oh, yeah.
All right, guys, that's
Okay.
it. Catch us again in 2 weeks for another great horror movie of the 1980s. As only decades of horror can do it. Say good night.
Good night.
Good
Night,
night,
everybody.